Recently, there's been a lot of noise in the markets about what the Fed is doing, what the Fed isn't doing, the interest rate, inflation, all of this stuff that's going on in the markets with everybody blasting news about the stock market crash, the stock market crash, the stock market crash that's coming up ahead. And I just watched an interview with Warren Buffett and I was like, this is so informative and so great. And I'm like, I got to share this with everybody. So let's watch this clip and we'll come back after that.
We'll turn to the next slide. I'd like you to imagine that at that time, you had invested $10,000 and you put that money in an index fund. We didn't have index funds then, but you in effect bought the S&P 500. Now I would like you to think a while, and do not change the slide here for a minute. I'd like you to think about how much that $10,000 would now be worth if you just had one basic premise, just like in buying a farm, you buy it to hold throughout your lifetime and you look to the output of the farm to determine whether you made a wise investment. You look to the output of the apartment house to decide whether you made a wise investment if you buy an small apartment house to hold for your life. And let's say instead you decided to put the $10,000 in and hold a piece of American business and never look at another stock quote, never listen to another person give you advice or anything on the sort. I want you to think how much money you might have now. Let's go to the next slide and we'll get the answer. You'd have $51 million and you wouldn't have had to do anything. You wouldn't have to understand accounting. You wouldn't have to look at your quotations every day like I did that first day. I'd already lost $3.75 by the time I came home from school. All you had to do was figure that America was going to do well over time, that we would overcome the current difficulties, and that if America did well, American business would do well. You didn't have to pick out winning stocks. You didn't have to pick out a winning time or anything of the sort. You basically just had to make one investment decision in your life. And that wasn't the only time to do it. I mean, I could go back and pick other times that would work out to even greater gains. But as you listen to the questions and answers we give today, just remember that the overriding question is, how is American business going to do over your investing lifetime?
And that's what I wanted to share. I don't really have much else to say except for exactly that. I mean, listen to the man. This man is a billionaire and he made his fortunes not because he made the greatest company, not because he was the smartest person, but just because he invested and he was consistent with his investments. Don't pay attention to all the noise. Don't pay attention to all the news articles talking about a stock market crash and all this other stuff. The numbers they put up there in 1942 till now, the markets have had dips, it's had crashes, it's had everything. If you think about that and you put that into perspective of like if we just buy index funds, if that's what you want to do, buy index funds and just hold. Don't focus on the fact that the market is going up and down. Don't focus on all the news articles and everything else that everybody's pumping out and telling you like, yo, you should be afraid and all this other stuff. Just focus on consistently investing. And then eventually the businesses will reflect the evaluation that is necessary for them. Focus on the cash flow of that business that can pay you dividends and all this other great stuff that businesses can do when you invest in them. So I just wanted to share that because I've seen a lot of YouTube videos recently talking about market crash. The Fed said this, so market crash. The Fed did, all that stuff doesn't matter. All you need to focus on is making consistent investments and then forgetting about it, letting that thing ride, because that thing will definitely give you great returns when it's time for you to start using some of those returns. So keep that in mind whenever you're making any kind of investment decisions. All right. Well, that's all I got. I hope y'all learned one, maybe two things out of this entire thing. And if you did, hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that subscribe button. But I'm going to catch y'all up on the next one. Remember, generosity is always greater than greed. God bless each and every single one of y'all. And I'm out. Peace. Whoosh.